professions can bring better leaders. And that mistake, many countries are having it. But I'm going to be on the contrary. I'll argue against these formal traditions that we believe professional traditions. Namibia has had two leaders that have no formal education. You go to that country today, it's a desert land. Agriculture is not what you can talk because their country is a desert, sand country. But these leaders, they believe in the spirit of what we call utopianism, whereby they know this is a desert land. What is our weakness as a desert? We don't have land to plow. We cannot cultivate. Now, if we are to ask for freedom, we need to know where our chances lie. When they were fighting for independence, many Germans, many Dutch people did not leave Namibia. Today, they are still running the country together. 5 years ago, it was the most cleanest town or country in Africa. Today, in development, we can say it's one of the countries that is blossoming in development because their road infrastructure, you'll never find potholes in their roads. If there is one, they quickly come to mend or come and see. A country led by black people. And there's this what we call traditional professions, because the first president was not a doctor. The first president was not a professor. The first president was not an PhD. He was just an ordinary freedom fighter who knew what his country needed. The second president was just the same. No formal education. But Namibia has a foundation stone that the generation after them will not regret for having such founding fathers. Many countries, particularly where I come from, Malawi, we have had 25 days ago, Professor Peter Mutharika, a man that will tell you that he knows each and every law. You'll be surprised today that within his office, in his own bedroom, he didn't know what was happening. A president, a law professor. We cannot mention his name without putting this prefix, professor. And I'll tell you this, I heard that after realizing that the party has lost leadership or torchbearer, they are now hunting for a torchbearer. Now they went far to America, somewhere in Virginia, where they found one of the person that is more educated in aeronautics. They say aeronautics. Someone who knows about aeronautics. He has been involved in the making of the what they call these space expeditions. A black Malawian. They want to bring that man. They say his name is Dr. Who I cannot remember. He is going to take over the party that Peter Mutharika was leading. Their mistake is believing in prefixes. It has to be a formal profession, a traditional profession. You can't just take somebody from anywhere. You need those who are educated to learn. They have not learned any lesson. Peter Mutharika has failed this country of Malawi. Very small. And I want to tell you, Malawi is 118 square kilometers. A very tiny country in Africa. A professor has failed it. He don't know that his own presidential book, presidential secrets, were being used by his wife, by his bodyguard. He don't know. Today when the expose comes that you were using your privilege as a president to squander, to corrupt this country, he said, no, I don't know. But you were president for 5 years and you're a professor for that matter. Now, Africa should stop this mentality that we are told by Western nations, that you can only bring a leader who is educated, who is having PhD, because they know you have to talk about the books of Western ideologies. Forgetting to take heed to the needs of your people in Africa. Because let us say, Africa is about 80% illiterate from Western education. We don't know anything about Western education. It's only maybe 20% that have managed and get accolades, degrees, or whatever you can call it. But there's no way this 20% will change this continent. This continent needs hard workers to work in the fields, because that's what we know. This continent needs hard workers that can raise animals in the bush. That's what we know. This continent needs people that will teach the generation about what Africa is made of, what Africa is all about. Then we can devise our own education system, because that's what China has done. China in 1972 was the poorest country. They came to United Nations trying to be part and parcel of the meeting there. When they raised the point that we don't hear English or French or Spanish or Latin, we only speak our language, the United Nations tell them that unless you speak English, then you can come back. They were told, go back. China decided, yeah, it's true. But we are not going to go in the meeting of some people where we cannot be free to speak our language. When China went back, they closed their borders and told their people that this is the time that we must toil with this land that nature gave us, that God gave us. Let's use it. They used it agriculture-wise, industrial-wise, factory-wise, innovations. Today, it's a shame that the whole world is buying each and every product, from clothing, furniture, materials, from China. Now I want to give you a lesson. Is it education of the West that made China to be developed the way it has done today? No. Chinese used what they had. Chinese used their own communication way. Chinese used whatever they had in their country to develop themselves. Today, it's a shame, because I hear many people in Africa, I'm going to Shanghai, I'm going to Beijing, I'm going to what? Those cities that you're mentioning, they are in China. What have you done in Africa? Why don't you stand up to say, I'm going to Johannesburg, I'm going to Cairo, I'm going to Banjul, I'm going to Guinea-Bissau, I'm going to Abidjan. Why don't we say that? Because we don't have the capacity to develop these cities. We have not used our senses properly to develop Africa so that some people can say, I'm going there. Instead, we think we are developing economically when we say we are going to Shanghai. We think we are developing economically when we say we are going to Beijing. What we are going to buy in Beijing is human hair that we sell, our women who sell in saloons. What we are going to buy from Shanghai or from Beijing are these tricycles that we should use as taxis in our roads. Let's find out more about the tricycles. Where are they getting the raw materials to build those tricycles? In Africa. The problem that we have, we are confining our brains within here. We don't think outside the box. For us to invent, for us to innovate, for us to do something for this continent, because it will be a shame for us to go to United Nations and tell the world nation, the international community, IMF, IFC, IDC, telling them, European Union, that we are poorest Africans and we need help. Sometimes I wanted to tell United Nations and IMF to tell Africa that you are not poor, but you are stupid. Because if you were intelligent enough, you could be the continent where IMF would come and borrow money to loan it to the globe. Why am I saying this? Because Africa is the richest continent in this universe. Africa is the richest continent in this universe, with each and every raw material that makes what we know, including the space crafts that goes to the moon and where it's coming from Africa. Rare earth, cobalt, zinc, Colombo tantalite, those are found in Africa. And African leaders, I'll challenge you today. You don't have a voice to tell Europe. You don't have a voice to tell China. You don't have a voice to tell America that, listen, if you need us to give you what we have, give us what we want first. You don't. What you do is, they come with the money and you run, you're too gullible for money. And this money, you're not receiving it for the continent. You're not receiving it for your people, you receive it for your pockets. And I don't understand why should you get a lot of money when you know that you cannot do anything to the population that you lead. Today, it's a shame that Africa don't have hospitals that can accommodate COVID-19 patients. I've seen in one country, I cannot mention it, people are being turned back. People that have tested COVID-19 positive, they are being turned back. They are saying hospitals are full and they don't have facilities. What a shame. 57 years of African independence. Everybody knows that Africa is the richest continent, but we are still crying. We are still begging. We are still loaning money from outside. When are we going to be the borrower? When are we going to be the renter? We need to rent our money to these countries. We'll never be, because we have short thinking capacity. Our capacity of thinking is short-sighted. We have got eyes, but we are suffering from myopia. We are human beings, but we move like animals. I want to say this. Nature was not wrong. God was not wrong to create this brown color. But we are trying to tell nature or God that you are wrong. Why did you create us black? Chinese have got size of hair. Was that a mistake? Should Chinese blame nature for being given size of hair? No. They are proud of it. We too need to be proud of our color. We too as Africans need to be proud of our creation, our nature. In addition, we have the richest resources on our soil. Someone was telling me that DRC alone has the wealth that can feed the whole of Europe. Europe has got about maybe 24 states, including Britain. But the reserves of wealth that is in DRC can feed the whole Europe, including Britain. And the question is, why are we still suffering? If a portion of a nation, a portion of a part of a country in Africa can feed the bigger economy of Europe, why are we not feeding ourselves in Africa? Greed. That's one.